Graveside Bride by Angela Goldsmith.
On a dark, tumultuous night, and at the dying of the light, the earth was bathed in an eerie, supernatural glow. Which ushers in this tale of woe. February 1847. A large, full, blood-red moon rose in the inky black sky, and there it kept its mournful vigil, like an ominous red bloodshot eye. It was still early evening, but the atmosphere was already sombre, murky and dark. A storm had blown in from the sea, leaving the town rainy, cold and stark. A vaporous, gaseous, thick, pea-soup fog had covered all that land, and there it hung like a gossamer web, as if weaved by death's own stone-cold hand. The wind howled across the town and blustered down the lanes. It battered at the front doors, and it rattled window panes. The storm had been raging all day long, and not for one moment did it wane. It brought with it a furious, tumultuous, biting wind, and an icy, chilly rain. Mr. Lawrence Pinchpenny, solicitor at law, buttoned up his coat against the chill as he locked his office door. It had been a long and wearisome day, and Mr. Pinchpenny was struggling to shake off the feeling of dread. How he longed for the comforts of home, his dinner, hot bath and bed. Suddenly a feeling of unnerving unease came over him, and he felt like he was being observed. He told himself, "Stop being ridiculous. I'm just being absurd." But nonetheless, he could not shake the feeling that some strange, shadowy figure was watching him from the end of the lane. He squinted through the darkness, scouring the distance through the rain. Yes, there was a woman there, dressed head to foot in grey, ragged and dishevelled and reeking of decay. "You there!" he called, his voice trembling, and wondered why he felt so worried and unnerved. He trembled and felt certain, yes, he was being stalked, watched and observed. The woman in grey stood stock still, and she wore a shroud-like gossamer veil. Underneath he could see her black sunken eyes, and her face skull-like white and pale. Ghastly apparition, dressed all in grey, stretched out a long, spindly arm, and Mr. Lawrence Pinchpenny recoiled back quickly in fear, panic and alarm. She pointed her bony finger straight at him, as if accusing him of a crime. Her accursed finger was knotted and gnarled, and was held out for some time. Mr. Pinchpenny shrank back and squirmed, like an earthworm caught on a hook. That judgmental finger was pointed straight at him, and it made him feel like a crook. She suddenly lifted her bloody hands and began to lift her veil. It revealed a contorted, twisted mouth, and she let out a long, loud, blood-curdling wail. Mr. Pinchpenny covered up his ears and shut the light out from his eyes, in his desperate, terrified attempt to block out her ungodly, otherworldly, shrieking cry. Many moments passed as the woman howled, her visage twisted, cadaverous and ravaged, like an unchained wild animal who had been beaten, starved and savaged. This elegy was spewed out from her soul in a guttural and untamed refrain. Its vitriol was purged out like bile, wrought and wrung with pain. Her haunted hymnal carried on apace, her long lamenting cry. She held her hands up in an anguished prayer, her eyes up to the sky. Her gut-wrenching pain was palpable. Her wailing seemed to last an age. It struck Mr. Pinchpenny straight through the heart, with its unflinching fury, wrath and rage.